Carroll, bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
Hello, I'm Phil Catchpole and welcome to a bonus midweek edition of Ringing the Blues. Ahead of Millwall's trip to Adams Park on Saturday, I spoke to Gareth Ainsworth in the press session on Thursday morning, so that's to come. Plus also we hear from Gary Staff from the Millwall podcast, No One Likes Us Talkin. He'll talk us through the Millwall system and what he expects from Wycombe on Saturday. But first, let's hear from the gaffer. We talk transfer windows, the big picture, the international break and a whole lot more.
We learned that we need more cutting edge, without a doubt, and we also need to limit our mistakes. You know, I've been saying that from the first game, and we're slowly getting there. But again, it's a tough league, very tough league, and it's a fantastic league to be in. The big thing for me is that the extra week has probably given Adebayo, Akinfenwa, Dominic Gabe, Ikpeazu, more time to get fit and get ready. More fitness into the likes of Curtis Thompson, who I thought was good against Luton. So, and obviously we brought Josh Knight in from Leicester in that 2-week period, which has been one of our big targets throughout the summer window. And just really getting the boys together again, and they're a great bunch. You know, we've been through adversity before. We got promoted to League One only 2 years ago, which is crazy to say as a Championship side. You know, we only got promoted to League One 2 years ago, and then I think it took us 5 or 6 games to win that first game away at Bradford. You know, so we definitely have got the spirit, we've got the desire and the heart in here, and the ability. We're gonna have to up that, and we'll work on that every day, and that's going to be something that will be key this season, I'm sure.
Last time we spoke, Gareth, you said you were hoping to bring 2, maybe 3 in before the window closes. You've brought Josh Knight in, like you just mentioned. The window closes tomorrow, Friday, as we speak right now. Is there going to be any more announcements before the Millwall game?
Oh, we're trying, yeah. We're trying to get somebody else in. It won't be 3, it'll probably be 2. I could say Josh was a big one for us. Rob's definitely backing me to try and get players in, but it's got to be the right players. You know, everyone's got the best player, but this Championship is a top level, you know, a real tough level as well. So we've got to make sure that whoever comes in is going to improve what we've got, what fits in the culture, and obviously that's important. So we just need to make sure that we're making all the calls we can. I mean, there's a lot going on. We've got Millwall to prepare for. We've got all the COVID stuff flying around, and there's testing going on and all sorts every week. And then at the end of it, we've got to prepare for this game. It's crazy, and a million agents calling me a day as well. So it is the mental life of a football manager, which I really, really enjoy and love. And we'll see what we can do in the next 24 hours, because definitely a space for, I think, to be a bit more creative going forward. That'd be great. But I've got a sneaking suspicion I might have someone in the building who can do that as well. But I'll say no more on that. We're just hopeful that we can get this team firing, get our first win, get our first goal. I'm really proud of the boys, and took that first 4 games now to really hit home and what they're going to need and what it's going to take to start getting points on the board in the Championship.
Intriguing. Perhaps someone already in the building. Okay, so international break presents another challenge now, because you've got a full international from one of the home nations. Has that been a challenge, losing Daryl for a bit of time while he does his international thing?
All I can say is I'm immensely proud. I won't be as proud as Daryl and Daryl's family. I mean, that's an amazing achievement when you think about playing for your country. When you actually say those words, that's just phenomenal. I would never stop anyone playing for their country, and amazingly proud of him. And Wycombe should be proud of him as well, because we're a full international, and like you said, at home nations. I don't think that's happened for quite some time here, and that's testament to Daryl and what he's done. And I'm hoping that him playing again in the Championship has really put him on the map again as well, because he's been one of our star performers of the games. He really does look a threat going forward. So to see him play last night was great. I wish it had been Tuesday night, but it was Wednesday night, and makes it closer to the game. And I was glad when he jogged off when he was replaced, and he didn't limp off. So there's many positives there, but we'll have to assess Darryl now and see where he is for this game, because we've got a heck of a run now. We've got 6 games in 3 weeks, and that's going to be a test for any team. Never mind Wycombe Wanderers with our squad, but Darryl will feature definitely in these upcoming games. He's a quality player and a real great lad to match that. A real warrior and down to earth guy. Fits us perfectly. If we do need to rest him, then somebody get an opportunity to step up. But big player for us, Darryl, and like I say, really proud.
It's nice to talk about football again, but it has been a pretty crazy week off the pitch for football once more with this project Big Picture. Premier League have voted it down, but this perhaps is just a start for a tricky period of funding, especially in the Championship. Yeah,
it seemed like the Championship was missed out a bit in the project Big Picture, wasn't it? But I'm sure there would have been contingencies for the Championship. I think they see us now as the second Premier League, which again is phenomenal for Wycombe to be in there, but really and truly it's not. We're still going to need help fund-wise, but not as much help as Leagues 1 and Leagues 2. I'm not going to be the manager that got out of League 1 and got to the Championship and forgot where we came from. I am a big advocate of money trickling down to Leagues 1 and especially Leagues 2 and even the National League. I'm so proud of our pyramid. Growing up as a kid, you look at the 92 teams in one small country. It's just brilliant, and that's why football is so big in this country. The Premier League is so big because of the history in this country, because of the passion, and that passion is started because we had 92 teams and everyone had their team close to them. They could all go and watch them. That's why we're so big in this country. So we can't forget that. So don't just start running around and these big teams thinking that the 92 haven't played their part. They certainly have, and they need to be kept going. Barry and Macclesfield played at both those grounds, scored at both those grounds. Real proud moments for me in my career. Really sad to see them go, and I'd hate to see any more go. We are that country that we love our history, we love our culture and our roots, and football is embedded right in there. Hopefully we can keep all these clubs alive and keep what a fantastic pyramid we've got without people running away with billions and billions. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just hoping that these sensible heads get in charge of it all and they can run it rather than some of the dreamers. But let's see.
The original proposal was reducing the size of that 92 and making promotion, especially from the Championship, more difficult. Sounds like you were with the majority of the fans by being against it, Gareth. Is that right?
I'm not nailing my colours to any mast. If I'm being totally honest, Phil, to have a look at the detail is something I didn't really get into. I've got enough on my plate rather than running through a whole detail of this new proposal. So I can't comment until I knew every little full stop and every little dot on the I's. And it's a tough proposal, I'm sure, to get through anywhere. I'm an advocate of keeping as many teams going as we can, and if it's the 92 pyramid, great. I know they wanted to go to 18, and that would have dropped 2 off the bottom, and it would have gone to 90. But that's all very well. But what if you wanted the 2 off the bottom? It's the passion in Macclesfield fans is the same passion in Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. The same passion. It's the same passion. There's no more or less passion. So why would one person have to suffer when the others don't? It's a tough one to call. So I'm not going to call it. And like I say, I'm not nailing my colours to the mast. I always make the best of every situation. I'm a big believer in get on top of the wave and ride it whichever way it's going and make the best of it. I just hope that people at the top make the right decision.
I remember there was a time when you were aware of sort of the value of every hot dog, every beer that was sold at Wycombe. Is it relief now to have some kind of help with the leadership and financial aspects of the club now, just to concentrate on the football, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Howard coming in was brilliant for me. It made me a big aware of everything that was going on and the business side of football and the diploma I did again, all that sort of stuff. So I still am really into that and still have a big hand on how we spend and what we spend. And Rob Courig's actually pushing me to spend more sometimes, saying, well, we're not the Wycombe of old, and we have got this bit, and that's the likes of Josh Knight coming in, being able to acquire a player like that from a Premier League team is fantastic, and Dennis Adeniran, so because we're not paying peanuts for them, you have to pay good money for good players, and so it's the days will never be forgotten. I just wish I could tell you the price of a hot dog and pies now, because I don't need to, because there's no fans in, and that really is affecting us. It's really hurting us, especially when you see the Finland game last night with 6,000 there. Seems crazy. I just hope we can get these fans back in, because believe me, we need them. I've said all along, always when I wrote my notes and everything, we always need the fans. And I think the Rotherham game, the Swansea game at home, we've needed those fans to give us that boost at the right time, and they just are not allowed in. So I'm really hoping we can get them back soon. But the way things seem at the moment, it's going to be quite a while. But hopefully we can sort everything out. My job's get the points on the board and keep this team in the Championship. I'd love the fans to come and experience it with me, but we'll have to do without them for now.
Right, on the line now is Gary Staff from the No One Likes Us Talkin podcast. Gary, let's talk a little bit about the start to the season. 4 games before the international break in the league. Millwall mid-table. Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, more than satisfied. I thought we could have got something more out of the Swansea game, which probably would have kept us in the playoff region. We might have even been in it, I think, if we'd have had the right result. We had 1 or 2 decisions go against us in that game. But we had a good start. We had 2 clean sheets first 2 games, a good win away at Rotherham, which is not an easy place to go, and which is strange for us, because I think the last 3 seasons we haven't won an away game until the new year. So it was a bit of a break of the norm for that one, really. But I'm happy. My biggest worry is we are still very light up front. So I'm hoping in the next couple of days before the transfer window finishes, we will hopefully get something in that area, or hear news that Troy Parrott will be back in the team sooner rather than later. And maybe that's why we don't go into the transfer market. But as I say, we've had a good start, we're a solid start, and I'm happy. Yeah,
I was hoping Troy Parrott was going to play, because I was thinking up front, is he going to play off the shoulder, do you reckon?
Well, I would like to see like the old-fashioned Millwall style coming back in a little bit. I know we like to pass it around a lot at the moment, which is nice to see. But I would like to see him play off the shoulder of Matt Smith. Matt Smith is a monster. No, he doesn't take falls gladly. He wins loads of headers. Top scorer last season. And I think that's the most goals he's scored in his career in one season as well. We worked for him. It's always been a fit that I've always wanted. Finally got him, and it's proven to be a point. And someone like Parrott playing off someone like Matt Smith would be fantastic.
Right, let's talk about the team then for Saturday. What's the system that Gary Rowett likes to employ?
Recently, it's been a bit chop and changey, but I think his go-to is, at the moment, is 5-3-1-1. So that would be like, for example, Bart in goal, with your back 3, middle 3 of, it would be Cooper, Hutchinson and Pearce. On the left, I'd like to see him start playing Wallace again, but that's my preference. And then on the right wing, you have Romeo. Through the middle, our preference is always going to be Woods with Leonard. And either side, you'll either have Bennett or Wallace. And then up front, you would have either Smith, Bradshaw, or if Parrott comes back. I know Bod Farson's floating around the team, but he's normally like a second half sub that comes on at the moment. But that would be the main structure of the team at the moment.
And what about the style? Is it getting the ball forwards quickly, or is it more of a passing setup?
To be honest, it's changed since Gary took over. It's it's a slow build-up at the moment, which doesn't necessarily lend itself to Millwall fans because we've always preferred a more of attacking team. But I think the slowness, comes from the amount of players we've got up front and the goodness, of the players we've got up front. I think he's working to our strengths, which are a slow build-up, working through Bennett and Wallace on the wings. And it's good to see Bradshaw getting back on the score sheet last week. So hopefully that'll be a start of good things to come as well, because he's not a bad player. He works really, really hard up front.
So he must be confident coming into the game, seeing Wycombe haven't yet scored a goal in the Championship. Already had an away win. So do you think you can build on that at Adams Park on Saturday?
You obviously not looked at Millwall's history. We hate a banana skin. Typically, we probably will go and win 2-3-0. And that would surprise everyone. But if it's going to be a typical Millwall performance, like we discussed the other day, I would go with probably an away draw. Wycombe to finally get on the scoreboard, because we are one of those teams that will always allow teams to do that for some reason. And I think, like you said, it would be a score draw, if I'm being fair.
Very good. Okay, and I've got to ask you about Gareth Ainsworth, because he was heavily linked to the manager's job at the New Den. Gary Rowett has got the nod. He's doing well. But would you have welcomed someone like Gareth Ainsworth taking the reins?
Personally, I did feel he had a job to finish at Wycombe before he took a step up. He didn't have, for want of a better way of putting it, any kind of success to say, I can bring that to the club. He just had a good, solid grounding. So, yes, I'd accepted him, but I feel like Gary Rowett, I would have liked to have had a bit more experience. And I don't know if this is common knowledge or not. I know I think he actually even got offered the job before Gary took over. But I'm happy with Gary, but I would have been happy with Gareth. But I think personally, there'd always been that niggling in my mind. He's not finished the job he started at Wycombe. And I think once he finishes the job at Wycombe, he then go on to something bigger. It
was reported that he got offered the job at Sunderland. A few of their fans saying he'd have to have his hair cut if he was to do a job for a massive club like Sunderland. Would that be the same case at Millwall?
Definitely not. I think we can accept a few random haircuts at Millwall.
Gary, thank you very much for your time. And it's such a shame we can't welcome Millwall fans to Adams Park on Saturday, but enjoy watching the game from the comfort of home or wherever you're tuning in from.
Indeed. I probably would have been there as well, because Wycombe's not too far from where I live. So, fingers crossed for a great game on Saturday. I'll be watching on my TV with my son in the front room on Saturday.
So thank you to Gareth Ainsworth and Gary Staff. Wycombe Millwall, 3 o'clock kickoff this Saturday. It'll be live on BBC Three Counties Radio and I Follow with me and Jeff Doyle. Will Wycombe get their first goal in the Championship? Perhaps their first point or even points? Will it be a win? You'll have to tune in to find out. Right, the podcast will be back as normal on Sunday/Monday. As ever, come on you Blues.